Yes, people, big up to all of you, and welcome back to Just Perspective. Welcome to another Blue Morning show. Today we'll have a few news items addressed, and after that, we get into selecting selecting Chelsea's strongest 11 after week 12. Yes, this is not us trying to select Chelsea's strongest 11 from the entirety of the squad, but from the players that have played in week 12. Other than that, I hope you're all doing well. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show without wasting much of your time. Yes, people, once more, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're all doing well. As I've promised you, we would address a few news items and then we'll get into selecting Chelsea's strongest 11 from what we know after week 12. First thing I want us to talk about is Christopher Nkunku. Some reports are saying he wants to be part of the show after the international break. He wants to be part of things, but at the same time, the club, we've heard before, the plan has always been to be ultra cautious, not to rush him back in, risk a setback. And I can say, yeah, let's not rush him back. Let's give him time to recover fully. I get it. He's that he has that you can say he's in a hurry to be part of things, to show what he's capable of doing. I get it. We will become better as soon as he's whenever he's ready and available for selection. But the truth is there's a risk to that. Give him time. Right now we're not missing him that much, in my opinion. I don't think we should rush him and risk a setback, and then he's not going to play again for another 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10 games. So I'm all for the club being ultra cautious. That's the language they use. But that's, by the way, let me catch up. I nearly forgot that I've almost forgotten the culture here. I'm going to start to say hello to those we have in the chat before we continue. The chat is on fire this particular morning. Let's see. I'm just going to say hello to you right now. I'm not going to be reading much of your content. Cannot be here today, Coach. Okay. It's not a priority. You don't get paid for being here. But I hope things are okay with you, Oscar, more importantly. And that's Constantine Dan. Much love to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Hello to you too, Jerry Z. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show this morning. Let's see anybody else to say hello to here. Heartbreaking for India. Okay, I don't follow. Are you guys talking cricket now? I don't follow cricket. Just give me a second. Yeah, I don't follow cricket. I think I saw. I did see that something was going on Twitter, but I wasn't paying attention what it was exactly. And they were calling it the World Cup. Big up to you too, DJ. Always nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Yep, now I'm going to say greetings to everybody in the chat. And I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and then we can get into the show proper. And if you're there, yeah, I like it. If you're there, I want to ask you the question: do you think the club should bring a Christopher Nkunku into the fold after the international break, or do you think we should give him time? I think he should. We shouldn't be in a rush to bring him back. Right now, we're not missing him that much. Hopefully, we will see the sort of spirited performance we did see against Tottenham and against Manchester City. Then he can take all the time he needs to recover fully and not risk any sort of setback. But let's say what do you think the club should do? Please let's try as much as we can to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to scroll past your contributions in the chat. And Santiago Muno, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. People, yep, exchanging pleasantries there. Let's see. I give him 15 minutes on the new in the Newcastle game just to get that edge even higher. Yeah, everything depends. I say comes down to how well he's recovered. I think they are monitoring him. There's a chance he won't see a single minute in that particular game. There's a chance that he'd see a few minutes, but I don't see him starting. He's saying he's ready to go, and the club are saying we're not too much in a hurry, and it's a good thing, and that's because we're not missing him that much right now. So I advise let's not be in a hurry to bring him back because we don't want to risk a setback and miss him for another 10 games or so. If Nkunku is fully fit and firing in training, should play. Why not? But not start. See some minutes. If there's always a risk. We've seen how Rich James, even though you can say on the two occasions he's started, he's you can say arguably one of our best players on the pitch. But you see how quickly he got tired and how quickly he's even asking to be taken off. In my opinion, I don't think we should be in a rush to do that. But that's just my opinion. Big up to you too, Chelsea boy. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And if you're in the chat and you own the YouTube channel, you know what to do. When I see it, then I'll try and read it. And sometimes I can just scroll past it, but people will see it and go and subscribe to your channel. We have too many members who have YouTube channel. Not too many. I don't think it's all right to use the term too many. We have plenty. So if I focus on reading on everybody's, go subscribe on everybody's YouTube channel, then I would spend too much time doing that and not host the show, in my opinion. But you have every right. Share the link to your channel. Tell people to go check it out. So when they see it, they go do the same. You are spotting Kuchila. We don't need to rush Nkunku or Lavia back. Yep, we haven't missed them that much, especially of late. Let them take the time to recover fully. And then, we don't risk anything. We need a slowly introduction. We need to slowly introduce them back into the fold, in my opinion. I feel the same. Why not start if fully fit? Match fitness, it takes time. And here's my argument here. We have other players that can start and still do well. Even if he starts, then I don't think he plays 90 minutes. But do I see him starting? I'd say no. That's just my opinion. I don't see him starting. I think he comes on. But if you're saying, I get it. You're saying if he's fully fit, why not start? But yeah, he can start and not play 90 minutes. But I think Nkunku at this point, I say let's start with 15 minutes. Because you can say match atmosphere is different from a training ground atmosphere, or maybe you can say intensity. Match intensity is different from that of a training ground, in my opinion. Let's not just risk anything right now. It's not worth it. We have other players and we're doing well. Hello everyone, glad to be back. I miss you guys. Miss you too, Asma. It's been like 1,000 years. That's not to say I'm a vampire, but I hope you've been well. I hope that things are okay with you. I hope that the case is that you've been busy and not that anything wrong has happened on your end. But nice to see you once more. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. He has played with team before, so in my opinion, he's fine. Not about lack of chemistry. I'm just saying For instance, let's say if we've heard that he's played with the academy, yeah, like 2 or 3 times, then it'd be easy to say, okay, let him start and finish games. But he hasn't played anything like a football match. Or have you heard that he's played a match before, a serious game like with the academy? Yeah, I haven't heard anything like that. So I don't see him. I think we're saying the same thing. He starts and plays a few, let's say up to, but if he starts, which means he's going to play up to 60 minutes plus. I don't even want that to happen, or even play the entire half, the entirety of the first half. I don't want that to happen. It's still a risk. Let it be a gradual process. 15 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. Yeah, fine. But if I see him starting, I'll be okay with it, and I'll be praying. Hopefully, he doesn't suffer a setback. In my opinion, he has played with team. When you say he's played with team before, talking your rep, you can say you're talking about team chemistry, but I'm talking about not risking anything. The fact that he hasn't played for a while, yeah. But let's see what happens. It's up to the manager to decide what he does with Nkunku. One thing you can tell for sure is the coach, players and medical staff are working as a team based on these decisions. Yep. And I'm going to repeat this. I've said it before, but I'm going to repeat it again. We've heard them say that they will be ultra cautious. I think with regards to him, his return date, Badiashile and also Romeo Lavia, they don't want to risk anything. And believe me, I don't think we've missed them that much, especially of late that we've picked up from and we're playing even better. He gets minutes, whether he starts, whether he finishes. I don't think he plays 90 minutes, whether he starts or whether he comes whatever happens. But we'll find out in a few days. Coach, they train match intensity in training, but that's not to say that's not to say the training intensity is still the same. It differs. Match atmosphere is very different because you're facing an opposition that would drag you in terms of pace, and you can say teams approach games differently. I understand that. Yeah, they train to match intensity in training, but it's never the same. That's why you have match fitness. They will tell you that a player is fully fit, but it's a difference. You can say, let me see, for lack of a better language, I think usually people use it. It is used interchangeably, even if that's not what it means. But it implies that you can say match fitness is the sort of fitness you need to be fully ready for a match is different than the one. Yeah, you get than the one you see in training, in my opinion. For lack of a better language, you're confusing me even more by asking such questions, Constantine. But that's by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're moving fast today. We're already at 20 likes. We can do better than that. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes by the time the show ends. And Asma says, I have a question from Nkunku. Be fully fit. Who will get dropped in the midfield or Jackson? I do not know. Jackson has been doing well. And I don't see the manager dropping Jackson just because he wants to accommodate Christopher and Nkunku. Here's the thing. I think the manager would see them both on the pitch. The question now is what structure and where is Nkunku going to be playing and where's Jackson going to be playing. I think Nkunku probably will be playing either on the flanks or as the 10. I'm not too sure. But here's the thing. Let's not jump ship here. Or let's not, you can say, what's the language I'm looking for? It's up to the manager. And until he does something, there's no way telling what the manager would do. You've seen how important, given his selection, what's the language I'm looking for again? I think I need more coffee this morning. The manager's selection pattern has shown that Conor Gallagher is very important to him. So I cannot look at it and say, yeah, Conor Gallagher drops to the bench and then Nkunku comes on. I'd say no, because I know what the manager values in Conor Gallagher, and yeah, I don't think Nkunku can offer that. Yeah, so you can't say either he's going to drop Nicholas Jackson to accommodate Nkunku. No, Nicholas Jackson is different from Nkunku. So let's not try to figure out, okay, who gets dropped, who will be dropped for Nkunku to come in. Until the manager does something, we'll find out. I think it's not going to be easy. And probably that's because the manager, that's probably the reason why the manager is not too much in a hurry to bring him back. And that's because all the players we have right now, they're all doing well. Yeah, especially of late. So I'm not sure how to answer that particular question. I think Connie is also back, but they are being careful with him. Yeah, and there's no need to rush him back. We have players who played in the you can say we've been doing well of late. We're not lacking in numbers. So the manager's not he's not going to be in a rush to bring any of the players back, except if we're struggling. But right now we're not. Yeah. But let's move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Kindly subscribe to Blue Bond Analysis. That's Jerry's YouTube channel. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Let's help him get to his first 100 as soon as possible. A channel offering a rationale, data-driven, and a constructive content of featuring original material. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. I think he's at 19 subscribers right now. Either way, it's great to have him back. That's just it. That's it. Yep, he makes us better. If Romeo Lavia comes back tomorrow, he makes us better. Connie Chukwemeka also, who's an excellent footballer, an intelligent footballer, they all will make us better. And then yeah, we'll be even, if we've been playing well of late, we'll be playing even better because we have yeah, some of our best we will have our best players who've been out injured back to full fitness, so that will go a long way. So and Lavia back, I can't wait to see them on the pitch. I can't wait either. So, but I don't think we should be, you can say, wasting our energy trying to figure out who gets a drop for one of the players to come in. I don't think it'd be easy to figure that out. I think Enzo needs a rest. Yeah, that may well be the case. Yeah, I think Enzo needs a rest. Nowadays he played a 90 minutes club and for club and country. If he gets dropped, Enzo, if he drops Enzo, then we will play Casado, Gallagher, Starling, and Nkunku, Palmer, Jackson. We'll find out. But let's see. Against lesser opposition has to be Gallagher. You're gonna be shocked. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I think I've said this 1,000 times. As much as I'd say, I still say openly, he's not one of my favorite Chelsea players. But given the manager's selection pattern, you could argue he values him. Honestly, he is one of Mauricio Pochettino's most important players. Until that changes, I'm gonna keep arguing that. Until Pochettino does something that shows that isn't really the case. Just in the case of for instance, what's his name, Ben Chilwell, when he was playing even in the wing back position, we were thinking, okay, he likes him too much, it's not going to drop him, and he dropped him on 2 occasions. Then we realized, okay, probably that is that what we were thinking wasn't the case. So my argument is that until the manager drops him, and for the likes of, you could say, as you've argued before, Lavia or any other person to start, then that's when I'd say, okay, yeah, maybe he's not that important to him. But right now, given the manager's selection pattern, Conor Gallagher is a very important player for him. Yeah, I get it. He's not the more technically gifted, but there's something he offers that you could argue no one else in this we have within our ranks that can offer such, in my opinion. And you know he's not my favorite Chelsea player. Need that extra attacker on in the 10 role. Yeah, we need a more traditional 10, a more creative player in the 10 role, a more technically gifted player in the 10 role, a player capable of beating the press effectively in the 10 role, a player that can pull the rabbit out of the heart to help us win games in the 10 role. And he's not that guy, but he you can say he applies himself. You can say he fulfills that role differently whenever he gets to play there. It's still effective. You get it. We've come to realize it's more effective against the big sides because they don't defend deep. But once the teams defend deep, he's not that effective. I think that's as clear as night and day. But he's still very important to the manager, in my opinion. It wouldn't matter, coach. Dropping 100 million player for Gallagher would be suicidal for Poch. I think it comes down to who he feels that will help him get the result. I don't think the price tag matters. If it does, then yeah, Mudryk will be starting over Raheem Sterling, if you get my point. So let's start addressing the news item we have lined up so that we can quickly move on to we can quickly move to selecting the best 11 after week 12. I'm gonna get the your last contributions in the chat here. I do not think that Nkunku will be used as a striker, most likely. I don't think he will. I think Mauricio Pochettino likes Nicholas Jackson. Yep. So the question now, and I think what's his name? Cole Palmer keeps his place, but I don't want to go that route. Honestly, we will find out very soon. DJ saying Gallagher deserves his place in the team. Yeah, right now he does deserve his place. At this moment in time, he is undroppable. Yeah, I guess you can use that language until the manager drops him. Then we'll see. But right now, I went to the extent of betting that if he doesn't start our last game, then I'll do a $100 giveaway, and I meant it. I think fans need to respect Gallagher a lot more than they do. For me, the most improved player on the pitch. There's no question about that. We all know that's the case. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 23 likes. We should be doing better than that, people. Let's get the likes up. Let's see what else we have here. Big up to you, Vic. Sorry if I haven't said hello to you. And it's saying Gallagher plays as a leader in the midfield. I'm not going to go to the extent of saying as a leader. Maybe, I'm not sure, but that's your opinion. He really sets the tone. Okay, he leads by example, maybe. The tone, and it gets the job done. He's not about flicks and tricks. What a way to put it. I think absolutely that's what it is. But efficiency, and I have grown to appreciate his quality. Yeah, I appreciate his quality. I appreciate what he brings to the table. And I've always told you, yeah, nobody else right now in our squad can, yeah, you can say brings to the table what Gallagher brings to the table. That's just the difference. It's not my favorite player. I'm gonna keep saying that. You never see a lazy performance from him. Always, yep, gets one. You always get 150% up from him. Gala is not undroppable. Like I said, I'm not sure what to say until the manager does that. Then you can argue otherwise. I don't know. What do you think, Jersey? You're on the panel right now. Let me ask you, Christopher Nkunku. Well, we're hearing that he is at odds with the club, saying he's ready, and the club, and Chelsea, and the manager and his staff, they aren't willing to risk anything. They want to be cautious, and they want him to take his time. And I think, yeah, that's the right thing to do. We haven't missed him that much, especially of late. But let's hear you. Do you think he should start the next game, or do you think he should just get a few minutes? Let's hear you, to see if you're there.
Good morning, Coach.
Yeah, good, brother. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great, thank you. I think it's common sense that Nkunku will be slowly integrated in the team, even if he starts, because we don't know the situation, right? Like how fit he is, because they took the time. He's training since last 3 weeks, and in the last week and a half, he's training with the team. So he is fit, right? But of course, like we don't know the final details. And given that we suffered a lot of injuries throughout the season, so it will only make sense to integrate him slowly and gradually. Uh, it's a possibility he could start again. Even either way, he can come as a sub. He can start, but of course he will not play the entire game. That's a given, right? And who knows? Maybe he'll not even play the game. He'll just be a part of the team and he won't be involved. So it all depends, right? So we don't know the exact situation. But to answer your question, for sure, like he won't be playing the 90 minutes, even if he is involved in the game against Newcastle. I believe 2-3 games, maybe 4, and then he will be like probably be playing the 90 minutes. As far as his position is concerned, again, we know he's a very like versatile player. At Leipzig, he has played in various positions. So it's interesting to note because I was reading a comment. He can also play as a number 9, right? In the preseason, if we recall,
he actually said he's again he sees himself as a number 9.
Yes, in a few games when Poch, some of the games they played together. I mean Nico and Nkunku, but in some of the games like they were substituted. So when Nico was sub in the preseason, Nkunku played at least 2 times, if I remember, maybe 3 as a number 9 in the preseason. So and he did well. So and why I'm saying that, of course, it according to him it's his preferred position, but we know he's better as a 10 or in the flanks, but because we have not been so successful in scoring goals, breaking the low blocks, And I know Nico has scored 6 goals with a hat trick against Tottenham that we can always write in aesthetic, right? With all due respect,
Mhm.
so it will depend like how we'll do. So Nico, I think in some games he will play as a number 9. That's what I'm trying to say. I see him playing a few games as a 9. He'll probably be maneuvered in different positions, and because that's how it was done at Leipzig, and he has the abilities to do so. Personally, I think as a number 10, it's a great position for him.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what the manager does. And then we don't have too much to work with. It's simple. No one is disputing the fact Gallagher has improved, but he's the one seeking a new contract, and yeah, deservedly so. And because his contract, new current contract, is winding down, and the club, I think, also will be looking to get him to put pen to paper for a new long-term contract. Otherwise, if they decide to sell him, they're not going to get that much from his sale. But right now, I don't think actually they'd be looking to sell him. They'd be hoping he signs a new contract. But let's see what happens. Has improved, but he's the one looking for a new contract, not the flagship 100 million plus players on 88 deal. We'll find out. I get your logic there. I would say one thing though, his game for England on Friday against Malta was not good. Gave the ball away a few times and was substituted at halftime. I heard Uncle Justas talk about that too. I didn't watch the England game. Even when things were bad last season, he never dropped. He never stopped running and pushing himself, even after all the criticism and mistakes. That's a true testament to his character. Okay, Palmer had a sound debut for England when he came on. Don't be surprised to see him involved in tonight's game against Macedonia. He may well start. Well, we don't know. But again, he played, so we owe City some money. That's part of the add-ons, and it's still if he debuts for England. City will earn some money from us. But that's, by the way, every player for England gives the ball away a lot. So I won't be too critical about that. Plus Southgate, whatever you call him, and keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I love Gallagher for what he does and how he plays, but he's not effective against lesser oppositions. A simpler language. He's not more. He's not effective against teams that defend deep, and that's when you need to be a good dribbler, and that's when you need also against teams that actually press us aggressively. That's when you need to be able to beat the press and all of that. But he's improving, and hopefully he improves to an extent where he'll still be effective against low block teams, in my opinion. Lesser opposition going forward in tight spaces. He's not effective and cannot break down teams. Yeah, that's truthful. You're being very truthful there, and I appreciate you for also admitting he can be effective when there's space. He needs space to be as effective as can be. But the truth is that he's improving and can only get better. That's how I see it. As for me, where might if the club ends up selling him, I wouldn't care. I don't care that much. If he's staying, I'll be okay with it. In my opinion. Big up to you too, Tommy Bryan. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And that's Gushan Singh Sang, bro. I'm an Atletico Madrid fan. I have heard news of United looking to sign Griezmann. As a fan, I can accept Griezmann in Chelsea or any other club, but not United. Wow, you just hate them that much? Um, I'm not sure what to make of your comments there, honestly. I'm not too sure what to make of that particular comment. Good day, everyone in the channel. Agile Indicator, nice to see you, brother. So let's start addressing the items we have lined up. But before I do that, I'm going to quickly talk to Steve-O. Steve-O, we don't see you every day. You appear just like the moon, once every now and then. But I hope you're well, brother. I understand we're all busy and the bills don't pay themselves. But big up to you, Steven. The question is, do you think Christopher Nkunku should start next game? If he starts, not a problem, but I just don't want him to play actually up to 16 minutes. I think we should be gradual. We should take it gradually, and that's because take it slowly, maybe, and that's because we haven't missed him that much, especially how well we've played of late. We don't want to risk any setbacks. But let's say you are Steve.
Hi, Coach. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, crystal clear, brother. Big up to you. I hope you're
Uh,
doing well.
I'm good, thank you. I hope you're doing great as well.
Yeah, I can't complain, bro. Any
That's
day
good.
above ground is a good day.
Yes, yes, yes. In regards to what you just asked, my personal opinion about everything coaches, I honestly feel like with the number of games which we have coming up during the festive December
Hmm.
period, I feel like we shouldn't be rushing Nkunku back, especially during for the Newcastle game, which is like this weekend. If anything, I feel like obviously he should make the bench. Definitely, if he's fit, he should definitely make the bench. I don't see a reason why he should start, seeing as the team is not necessarily struggling per se. So I
Hmm.
feel like he should make the bench, maybe play 20 minutes or 15 minutes, come off the bench just to get match fitness. Do that for like the next two games. And the third game he can start depending on the performance of other players. But I feel like he should definitely not be rushed in because we have a couple players in those positions doing a decent job. Probably might
Hmm.
not do it as well as he is, but they're doing a decent job. So I don't see the reason why we have to rush him and risk him getting injured. But to be honest, I'm not even too bothered about that because one thing which I know or have a bit of confidence in compared to last season, this season I feel like we have better management in terms of like people dealing with sports science, dealing with injuries, and so apart from the occasional injuries which happen when one is on the pitch, which you can't necessarily predict them kind of things, but like
Yeah.
injuries for or like but like them kind of injuries where maybe like precautionary, where you don't have to rush somebody or where you have to play somebody like for a limited amount of time, just like what we're doing with Rich James. If it was the
Hmm.
older management, Rich James would be playing 90 minutes, playing because of the fact that we need him so much. But I love the fact that Poch, regardless of how the team is playing, how good Rich James is even playing, 60, 65, he's out of the pitch, at least until he gets his proper fitness. So with the Rich James example, I'm very sure Chelsea won't do anything not similar to that with Nkunku, with Lavia. So I'm not too bothered with our guys from injury. If anything, I'm more excited to see them come back because of the fact that I feel like they would definitely add like an extra kick to the team. I was even more surprised. I don't know if you've seen it, coach, but I was more surprised about Fofana because I thought Fofana got an ACL
Yeah, I didn't
injury,
expect
coach.
him. Yeah, to be this closer to returning. But go ahead.
I thought he got an ACL coach in August pre-season. He's already wearing boots and back on grass. When I was discussing it with a friend of mine who is a Real Madrid fan, we were making jokes. We were like, this is Fafana's second or third ACL. My friend was like, Steve, his legs are used to this.
Hmm.
ACL feels like hamstring injury for him now. But yeah, that would be nice to see Fafana back because obviously it's not like we need him so much, seeing as we've got Disasi. But just having everybody back, I feel like that will really, really, really help us a lot in January. And they would most of them are going to feel like new signings. So yeah, that's my opinion about everything.
Yeah, I do agree with you. We need them back, and whenever they come back, they're gonna make us even stronger. But because we've played well of late, and we're not missing them that much, I don't think it makes any sort of sense to rush them back if we don't really need them and risk a setback. Miss them for another 10 games or so before he comes back. I think it's a risk that's not worth taking, in my opinion. Just the same, Bruno Fernandez has the most assists in the Euro in Euro. Um, he says in Euro 24 qualifiers. I know it has nothing to do with this. DJ, you are disclaimers. But being Portuguese part, I am proud of him and my second national team after England. But when he's playing for United, you don't care. You want him to falter, right? I know. But DJ, congratulations to you. I've always known you've always told. Yeah, I think I knew that. Yeah, you're part English and Portuguese. The pitch is in Macedonia is not great. Okay, in Macedonia it's not great. Hope Gallagher and Parma don't play this match. They will most
Coach,
likely play.
Coach, can I
Yeah, go
ask
ahead,
you a
Steve.
question? I'm nervous to hear what your take is on this. What do you personally feel about Joao Felix as a player? The reason why I'm asking is my personal opinion about him. I know this is unrelated to what we're speaking about, but like seeing as he played for Chelsea and everything, I feel like my personal opinion about him is he's an entertaining footballer with all the fancy flicks and tricks. But then when it comes to doing what you need him to do as a forward, which is putting the ball inside net or assisting as much, I feel like he's not good at that. And in my opinion, he's showing the same. He's proving that as well in Barcelona. Like if it's the nutmegs, if it's the fancy leg overs, the beautiful stuff we all grew up watching, the Ronaldinho's, all of that, we love seeing it. But like to have like an end goal, I don't feel personally that he has it, and which was one of the reasons why I was supportive of the fact that Poch didn't want to continue with him. But I want to hear
I
what
actually
you
don't
think.
agree that Poch didn't want him. I think the whole problem was that Atletico, they weren't looking to loan him out again. They wanted to sell him outright, and I don't think he wasn't a priority for Chelsea at the time. I don't see any manager that will get the opportunity to work with Joao Felix and say no. Here's the thing. Let me just quickly confirm something. I think at most Joao Felix is 24, right?
Yeah, he's young. He's still very young, to be
Yeah,
fair.
and here's the thing, and that's because we've been hearing his name since that mammoth move to
Benfica,
Atletico Madrid.
since his Benfica
Yeah,
days,
since
coach,
his
before
Benfica
you.
days, we've been hearing his name since that time. So once you hear his name now, a lot of people expect him to be playing at the same level as Messi or Ronaldo. Or yeah, but the truth is, Atletico Madrid for me was the wrong first move for him playing under
True,
Diego Simone.
true,
I
because they're
think
very
he will still
defensive.
get there. He wants to get there. Let me just go, Joao Felix, just quickly, since you asked that question, age to be sure. Joao Felix age. Yeah, 24, at most 24, I said. I think, yeah, he's still very young. I think he hasn't worked under the wrong manager, but I think Atletico Madrid, like as I've said before, for me was the wrong first move for him. Had he gone to Barcelona at the time, or even Chelsea, I think he'd be better off now. But it was, you can say, him playing under Simone wasn't good. It didn't help. It would take a while, but I think he will come good. At Chelsea, he was just unlucky. If you count the how many times he hit the woodwork, at least he'd have, let's say, um at least 6 7 goals before he left Chelsea. Just that's just up the top of my head. I'm not sure that's accurate. But in my opinion, I think he's a fine footballer. Once he gets to work under that right manager, and shading the Atletico Madrid mentality, defensive, 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 whether you're the number nine, um,
Yeah, they're very
defend, defend,
defensive.
defend. Yeah, I don't think he shit that properly. I get it. I think he will come good. He's still one of the youngest talents in world football. It's not too late for him. It's just that it's easy to think if you don't pay attention to the fact that he's 24, you think it's over for him. I think he's an excellent footballer, and I'm going to say this again. I don't agree that Pochettino rejected him. It was just the club at the time. A player of his profile wasn't a priority. Yeah.
Fair enough. Because he was even asking, he was on so much salary. Like I think
Yeah.
his wages were
Yeah.
astronomical.
Yeah, lots of factors. Yeah, had we decided to buy him, yeah, we would pay premium for him.
Fair
Plus his
enough.
salary also. So those factors, people aren't looking at that. They just think they're just going. They heard that Mauricio Pochettino rejected him. They took that and ran with it and never looked back. Big up to you too. The gist is waffling. Oh my goodness, nice to see you, Chelsea Mitchell. Woo! Much love to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Kachila have thought long and hard about your objection to Chelsea signing a cement, and partly explains why Poch couldn't win top trophies. Here's the thing, and you understand my argument. That's my argument. Isn't that Osimhen is not a good player? I'm quite sure. Adebayo, Marco Jimai, bro. I'm quite sure you understand my argument very, very well. But we're not going to go into that right now. That may well be the reason, but I don't know. I hope he wins something at Chelsea. I hope that changes. Let's see, Mitchell boy. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving in advance to a lot of you because I'll be traveling and I will actually miss the Newcastle game. I'll try the best I can to be part of the to do a preview match preview for that. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. Do it on time and before I travel. Constantine, no, okay, just having a conversation there. And the gist, the haste, the host, the Waffler, chairman of the Wafflers Association. Subscribe and hit the like button, people. Appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. We're 30 likes. You can do better than that. And if you haven't, subscribe to Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. You don't know what you're missing. If you like the panelists on here, then you will enjoy all the live streams on Mitchell Boy Show, plus some spicy too. Some you can say some spiced up. The panelists here spiced up by some other panelists you haven't heard, you haven't listened to before. If you've not been to Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel, please go subscribe. Let him know I sent you. Let's help him get to 2,000 as soon as possible. Bigger panel and chat. Nice to see you again, Mitchell. I hope you're doing well. I support both national teams. I think I know that. Pep had to sign Haaland, a player most people felt is not a Pep kind of striker. Yeah, I was one of those. But I knew if he signed him, he had to change something to accommodate him to make it work, and he did. Yeah, and he did. Great coaches adopt their team to accommodate elite talent. Gaffers like Fergie and Carlo are excellent in this role. Here's the thing: we're hearing that Mauricio Pochettino wants to see him. Here's what I ask again. What I'd ask of him. What I would ask of him if we end up signing Osimhen is this: he had to. I've made some
one thing I would like to add.
Osimhen. Sorry.
I just would like to add one thing. According to my analysis and observation, Pep Guardiola didn't adapt to Haaland. Haaland adapted to Guardiola's style. It's the other way around. No way that Guardiola changed the system or formation or anything for
no, I'm not
Haaland.
Talking about. Yeah, but
I'm just saying, according to the comment, like Haaland had to integrate. It was like Haaland had to change the game. He's tracking back as well now. You see, he's involved in the defense. So Guardiola didn't adapt for Haaland, not at all. No.
Right. So just saying, you say Gaffers like a Fergie and Carlo and excelled in this role. At his thing, what I'd ask Pochettino if Chelsea sign, if we sign Osimhen today, would be make adjustment to accommodate him, and Osimhen himself will we probably I'd let him know if I get the opportunity to speak with him. He's played all his life as a traditional number 9. That's not to say he's not capable of dropping deep and participating in the play, but that's because teams he's played for nearly all the time, once they get to the final third, the channel nearly all their goal scoring opportunities are through him. Yeah. So I think if he's joining Chelsea, I'd let him know, look, things will change. It will not be about you all the time. It will be a fluid or liquid approach, if that's the language you prefer. And chances are, if we don't start playing in the manner that we get to channel all our goal-scoring opportunities once we get to the final third through him, chances are he will start getting frustrated, and even the fans will turn against him, not paying attention to the facts that we play. The manager prefers a liquid, or maybe if you prefer a fluid approach, which means the goals will score will be shared amongst 3, 4, or even more players. And Osimhen is not going to be scoring that much, and people will measure that to the ratio of how much you paid for him, and that will become a problem. Which is the same thing you can say happened with Lukaku. But I'm not sure how it's to present my argument for people to understand why I'm concerned. If we have a manager like Mourinho or Ancelotti, I say, yeah, bring him on. I'll be certain that he will come and he will hit the ground running at Chelsea. But that's, by the way, let's see what else we have here. People having a good conversation there. Enjoy yourself. Adebayo with the shots up punch. Yeah, he likes to attack him. Victor will struggle at Chelsea. Chelsea need a good goalkeeper, a goalkeeper trainer, and quality health workers with sound psychologist team. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that, Mr. Chukwu. But let's see anything else I have to address here. Choma, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join us at this particular morning. I hope things are okay with you. Thank you once again. Cannot forget Romania. It looks like DJ is having a conversation with somebody there. Let's see. Aside Nkunku and Stalin, no one is better than Zhao. Is again in this present Chelsea setup. Here's the thing. You heard my argument when Steve asked that question. Good morning to you too, Oladipo Mesola. I hope you're doing well. And when you get a chance to share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. Let's see anything else we have here that I need to address. I'm done with just give me one second, Steve. I'm done with thinking a player does not have a Premier League experience. After seeing a lot of experienced EPL players flop, okay, I just focus on the player's ability, irrespective of what league he's coming from. Premier League proven it's not a guarantee, but it reduces the risk you face when you sign a player from a different league. So you cannot discount that. It's just not a guarantee, but at least it reduces the risk. Let's see how you are. You were going to say something, Steve.
Coach, what I was just going to ask you was more of a question to you because I kind of like tuned off a little bit, but I think I tuned in back when people were asking you some questions about Osimhen. I wanted to ask if you're not really pro Victor, who would be your ideal striker, or you don't, or do you not have any candidate or something? I'm just curious to know.
I'm not against Osimhen. I have few arguments. One, the fact that he's played mainly as a traditional number 9 all his life, and two, the other one is that he's African. Nothing wrong in that, and he's a top player, represents Nigeria. Jackson is also African, represent Nigeria, which means every time AFCON comes around, we'll be losing 2 of our top strikers to AFCON. And right now, we don't have the luxury to lose two important players as Osimhen and Jackson, and still be doing as well as we've been doing it when they're still with us. That's one of my where I am at right now. I've moved on from arguing that whether he's the profile of striker that will do well under Mauricio Pochettino. I've moved on from that one. My concern right now is the fact that he's African. Jackson is African, and they're top African strikers. So they're not like you can say strikers that their respective countries don't make AFCON. They both make AFCON every year. Senegal does, Nigeria does also every year.
They would most likely be selected.
Exactly, and I think we had Jude on the panel. I think about a few days ago saying we used to have SCN, Mikel, Kalu, Drogba. Yeah, exactly. And let me know if I'm missing any other name. And they all used to live for AFCON and we still do well. But the difference is that we're not as strong as we were at the time. At the time, which we can lose them and even lose some players from other countries and still be doing well and still have the strongest squad in the league. But right now, look how badly we were doing in the absence of Reece James. Yeah. So if Jackson isn't playing right now, I get it, hate him or love him, would be in trouble too. So let alone if you pay premium for Osimhen and the AFCON comes around, you lose them both. Now that we're not as strong as we used to be, and we want to achieve a European place, I think it's a risk, and I think the club will consider that. And here's the thing. Finally, I want to say this: whether we move for a striker, especially one that we'll end up paying a premium for, depends on how we do come January. By the time we get to January.
True. Because I think the club. One thing which I've been seeing. By the way, Coach, before I carry on, I agree with everything you said. Obviously, I'm Nigerian, so I would love my countryman to come. But truth being told, the whole AFCON and everything is actually true. But like, my only response to that was if there was a way in a perfect world utopia where we could have Jackson, Broja, and Osimhen, even though I know one of them would have to be sold, which is most likely going to be Broja, then I would really be pro Osimhen because I feel like Broja, Nkunku, Palmer, Stello, that's more than enough in terms of attack. Mudryk, Noni, like we will really notice Jackson and Osimhen if we have all those people fit. But if we don't have Broya, we have to now start using Nkunku as a striker or using David Washington. Yeah, I get your point in terms of like it might affect us in a way. It might affect us honestly.
Yeah, I think in his thing, the club actually likes Amanda Broya. They believe in him.
Yeah, they gave him
So
a new contract last season, like
yeah,
six like
so if he picks up form and is doing well, I don't see Chelsea actually looking to sign a striker in January. Even in the summer, everything comes down to how well we're doing at the time, but we'll find out. But yeah, it makes sense. Chelsea looking at Job Bellingham for January move. Wow, I don't know him. How good is he? I don't know him that much.
oh, coach, he's been doing great. He's been doing
Really?
great in championship. Yeah.
What position does he play in?
He plays in his brother's position. It's crazy, coach. Well, to be fair, I don't really make I try not to make conclusions off compilations, but I
Hmm.
saw a compilation of Job yesterday, coach. I was like, what? Because like I said earlier, remember when I told you a friend of mine is a Real Madrid fan? He told me that Perez he wanted to is thinking of getting Job as well. Bro, coach is actually doing very well. I don't understand what is inside the Bellingham family's water. It reminds me of Rich James' family. Literally, the boy is doing crazy.
Hmm. I will check
He's,
him out. I haven't. Would be a smart move.
apart, you're looking at coach.
Signing a job for the future. Yep. Let's see. And I am off this week, Okachila. Wow. So we're gonna be seeing the queen of the house more often than usual. But unfortunately, Chama, I'll be traveling for Thanksgiving and will not be back until after the Newcastle game. Ah, my goodness. So you're off Thanksgiving week. Okay. Let's see, Constantine. I think it will be an excellent move if we sign him. The younger brother of Jude Bellingham. He is supposedly saying he will be better than his brother. But Jude is Jude, just a goat. Yes, then. Um, I like that mentality. Yeah, I don't want to be my brother. I don't want to be another Bellingham. I want to be my own person. I want to make my own name, and I think I can be better than him. And please go check out the Laddie People's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let him know I sent you. Let's help each other grow. And my bro, Mitchie, if you're watching, please do not forget to share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. I rate Job very highly. Great prospect, a top tier English challenge. I hope we sign him as soon as possible. He plays like his brother, same build, body type as well. Wow, I need to research him as quickly as possible. I also like the mentality of Job wanting to be better than his brother. The boy has ambitions. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dortmund snap him up. Let's see. He may well go to Dortmund because they have you can say they have you can say they have that what's the language I'm looking for, reputation for nurturing young players. There's a chance if they want him, he'd go to them. But I think it's not going to be cheap right now. Tony is signing a new contract with Brentford. Has he agreed to sign? I think what I read, I did read something to the effect of if he's going to sign a new contract for with at Brighton, he has to have a buyout clause. But you're sounding like as if he wants to sign and stay with them. Arsenal now looking at Vlahovic. So Simhen will be our number one option. And here's the thing: that is if we're looking to sign a striker. Everything right now just rumor. That's how I see it. He plays at Sunderland. Okay, not a bad club to be in. Kachila doing well doesn't necessarily denote having enough output to lead a championship charge. Contents, Kachila, do we just want to compete or dominate? But part of the project is signing young players at a very you can say signing players at a very early age, very really good players. So I think they will sign him if they want him. But I get your opinion. But we've been told we'll mix things up with experience come January. How we'll do that? I honestly do not know. But I understand where you're coming from. Actually, he probably wouldn't go to Dortmund. Wouldn't want to follow brothers' route. Would want a different something better, a different route. Okay, and better. But that's by the way. Let's start addressing the items we have lined up. Remember, we're gonna do Chelsea's a lineup exercise where we select Chelsea's strongest 11, given what we've seen after week 12. And the first news item here, saying, according to Ben Jacobs, quoting somebody there, Simon Phillips quoting Ben Jacobs, the indication have always been from Napoli sources that it is very likely Victor Osimhen will be available in January. I think if Chelsea feel like they could get Osimhen, then they would wait until the summer. Okay, so even if we're going to sign him, he will not be in January. And the next item here, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I think this one is one of those horse doo-doo reports. There was summer rumors. I think Fabrizio Romano debunking the rumors in question. There was some rumors in Italy about AC Milan and Badiashile in January. The only player leaving Chelsea in January in defense is Chalobah, and the club are looking at CBs. Badiashile is still part of the project. If we sell this player, I'll start questioning the the reason and you can say the thinking of the new owners, but I don't think we'd sell him. I think he has a place in this team. As much as I like Levi Colwell, I think he's a much better player, more intelligent of the two. He's good on the ball if you're gonna argue, but Levi Colwell is good on the ball, but I think he's better on the ball in terms of passing range. He's an intelligent player. I know this is he can lead the back line, but I think if we're looking at a player in the mold of Thiago Silva that will lead the back line when he hangs his boot, when he leaves the Chelsea, because I think he's still playing Brazil for at least one more season. I think that player is Benoit Badiashile. His football and intelligence, his calmness on you can say when in chaotic situations, like in terms of defending. Wow, I love him, and that's just so. I know some people will say probably I love him the way I love Koulibaly. I love Koulibaly because he's a good player, and not because maybe I have an agenda or so. But I think if anybody can take on that leadership mantle in that defensive line, it is Badiashile. If we want a player of similar qualities to Thiago Silva, I don't know, Jerry, you have anything to add to this? Badiashile, what a player he is. But I've always known the AC Milan rumors are all were all absolute nonsense. I knew that was the case the moment I saw the rumors linking him with a move to AC Milan. But let's hear you, Jerry. You want to add to that, or should I just go ahead?
No, completely dismissed. Nothing into it. It's absolutely nonsense. So we can move on.
Yeah, yes, what a player he is.
He is a great player, and I won't be surprised that he will replace Thiago Silva in the near future.
Yep. He's intelligent, good on the ball, clean tackles, passing range is excellent, gets you goals too. Excellent air, really. I don't know this kid. Constantine Dante, I'm sure you know him, but I'll talk about him in a minute. Here we have says if we get bans, I think we have no choice but to sign him in January. Yep. If we fear we're gonna get a ban, I think we'll sign a lot more players in January.
But also, we don't know like the time frame. If there's something, it could come as soon as next week. It could even take 6 months, 8 months. So we don't know. Like with these situations, like with Everton, it was going on. Yeah. So we never know if there is something, even if we are sanctioned, we don't know if it will be before January or in the summer. So we don't know the time frame.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Would you swap Badiashile for Theo Hernandez? You're talking about Theo Hernandez? I'll say no. Maybe if you say Liverpool, I say yes. My opinion, I would. But I'm not going to swap Badiashile for anybody. I rate him. Here's the thing. After Thiago Silva, I rate him over every other centre-back we have at Chelsea. Honestly. Badiashile is an excellent defender. He's not the most aggressive, but he reads the game so well. I'm going to use the same analogy I use when I talk about Thiago Silva. He reads the game so well. He's not the quickest, but he reads the game so well that you won't even get a chance to race against him, let alone outpace him. He's always at the right place at the right time. And he's still, I think, at most, how old is he right now? I think he should be at most 21. But let me see. I don't think the club will sell him. 22, yeah, 22. He's an excellent player, in my opinion. If Pochettino decides to let this guy go, I'm gonna turn against him. That's that's just who I am. But I don't think he will. I think he probably knows him very well and just biding his time, and he will take his place in the team. For me, and I think a lot of people will agree, he's better than Levi Colwell right now. Colwell will get there. He's more experienced. He's played more senior game, high level games than Levi Colwell has played. For me, he's actually a better defender than Axel Disasi for me. Axel Disasi is just more aggressive of the two. Yeah, but in terms of footballing intelligence, football, maybe if you say football IQ, wow, I like him, but I'm not going to swap him for Theo Hernandez. Joe Bellingham is Gallagher with 10 times the skills. Oh, wow. That explains the sort of player he is right now. I don't know him, coach. You don't know who? Oh, you don't know the kid. Okay. The club's legal team track issues like potential ban period. In fact, that is a part of why they are paid. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much for bringing that up. It makes sense. So they will let them know, look, you have to be proactive now and sign more players because the ban is going to be for a certain length of time. So you need to sign players and be sure you be okay without signing players from that time to you said to a particular date. It makes sense now. So this is saying as Monaco's how do you pronounce that name? Malamine Efekele, dubbed as the next Kylian Mbappe, is a subject of interest from some of Europe's top clubs, including Chelsea. I don't know him, and I need some practice with on how to say his name. I don't know him, but chances are Chelsea will be all over him if it's that good. The source is being quoted here. I don't know the two sources, GFFN and Dabia Hatabi. I don't know. We move on to the next item here. Nothing more there. Yeah, let's go. So we're gonna get into the lineup building exercise. Let's build Chelsea's strongest 11 after week 12. And the goalkeeper, no need, no question, no competition there. Unfortunately for us, it will be Robert Sanchez. Yep, he's improved significantly. We knew at the time because he didn't have preseason with us, and because he hadn't played for a while at the time. The first few games he played for Chelsea will be his preseason, and boy, he's improved significantly, and his distribution is getting better and better by each game. I'm happy we signed him. I'm never gonna. He's made a few excellent saves, but that one face to face with Erling Haaland on the carpet, low and hard, I thought that was a goal, but boy, he stopped it and didn't actually again. He stopped it excellently. It was delicious how he was able to stop that. I give him credit. I think he's done well, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Coach, you skipped my comment before, but I was saying we may need to sign a Seaman, etc. In January, because if we get banned in the summer. Oh, when did I skip that? Apologies for that, brother. You know I wouldn't do that intentionally.
I mean, this is a great comment, but first of all, even if you are punished, there is nothing to suggest that there will be a transfer ban. As we have analyzed in depth in the soccer perspective a day before, so whatever it is in front of us, the possible sanctions could be similar to the Everton point reduction, like Everton, or fine, or both. Yeah, it could be. We don't know because there is nothing nothing that has been translated or nothing that we know officially. But I mean, according to our research, as we did with Bobby and all three of us had a deep dive, there's nothing to say that the rumors like will be can face relegation or transfer ban. It's just a hypothesis at this moment. So yes, a punishment or a sanction is possible, as we analyzed, and people can go and watch the last video on Soccer Perspective. It's an in-depth analysis. But as of now, as we speak, the most probable sanction would be a point reduction or a fine, or both.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I don't think. I still don't think points. Chelsea will face a points deduction, but we'll find out. I don't work for the FA, and I don't have insiders who telling me what's going to happen. Who's told me what's going to happen? But we'll find out. Hopefully, it's not going to end up being a points deduction, because it will be mean, even if it doesn't mean we'll get relegated at the end of the season. It will mean that it will take a lot for us to make it into the achieve a European place come end of the season. Apologies for skipping your comment there. Jersey, let's hear you. The goalkeeper Sanchez, no question, he has no competition at this time. So it wouldn't make sense to just choose Petrovic.
So, coach, I have one
From
question.
watching
Like,
his stumps on YouTube and all that, I think Sanchez he's shown that he's improving by every game, and he deserves to got this. You can say for right, just it's simple. He's our best goalkeeper right now. But let's hear you.
yes. So, coach, I just want to be clear, so I'm not making any mistake. This preferred 11 is based on the 12 games that we have played, or
Yeah,
is
based
it?
on what we've seen after week 12.
So that means, of course, Nkunku is not eligible
Nope.
for this, right?
No,
Yeah,
he's
I
not.
got it.
No.
So, of course, based on that, it's Sanchez, because we didn't have any other keeper, and Petrovic, he didn't play a game, so it's no brainer. So it's Sanchez. As far as you said, he improved. Yes, he improved in the goal, in his stoppages, in his box presence, and how he saved Haaland's Son goal as well. We cannot.
Let's say you talk about that save. That save is worth taking us taking the time to analyze it, because it was low and hard on the carpet, and Sanchez, as a big guy, how quickly he got to the carpet to stop it, I can't fathom how he was able to do that. But let's hear you talk about that save.
Exactly, the way Haaland went through the defense and hit it, almost pitch perfectly. It could be even further, but the more important than the technicality, that how he anticipated and how he timed his save. More than that, what impressed me, or what makes me feel more confident on Sanchez, is the game, the situation. It was against Man City, again in a game where we are coming off a win of Tottenham, a shaky win, and everything, like, it can get any bigger than playing against City, against the best striker right now, who almost won the Ballon d'Or. So if it shows the nerves, that he has the capacity to deal with the pressure. So that is more satisfying to me, right? This tells me. And even the save before this game against Son, that was not easy as well. That was a great save as well, right? So he almost saved us in that game as well. So I'm really good.
Or maybe we're you can say we're just subconsciously picking that save against Haaland as you can say as you can say more difficult to save that because of Haaland himself, his
Yes.
repertoire
But if you
as
see
an
the strike
attacker.
of
Yeah.
Sun, it was more difficult, in my opinion. I mean, it was more difficult to save. That was a great strike, and Sun almost scored. But as I said, saving Holland in this situation, it was amazing. Because he's new and he has made so many mistakes, not in his box saving, in his ability to stop, but from the feet, he made a few errors. Passing from the back, so there was, of course, a huge pressure on him, and then he dealt very well. So he's great with his box presence, box to box saving, his positioning. The only attribute that is a question mark still, although he didn't make the mistake in the Man City game, but still, like, in the last, if we see the last 7 games, he made 4 mistakes, and we were hurt against Arsenal. So we still have to see that. But again, he didn't have the preseason. This style is very different. Pochettino emphasized a lot playing from the back, pressing from the back and the front, is of course in the attack. So it's and many teams are doing it, even Man City and Liverpool. So all the modern teams are doing it. But Pochettino, the way I analyzed, is maybe a little bit, he does it a little bit more. In my opinion, again, I'm not a coach, but in my opinion, I think they could be careful, like especially in the 85th minute, after 80th, 85th minute, 90th minute with a goal, 1 or 2 goal lead. I mean, they shouldn't do what Postecoglou is doing, right? So I'm sure that we will improve on that. But what I have seen is that even in the 90th minute, that they will be playing from the back, which I think they can avoid. They can be more clever, because if there is a situation where the opposing forwards are pressing and there is no space or there is no clarity, then I think he can really like either hit it in the middle of the park, or even put it on sideways. So and that is another thing, right? That is another aspect that we can analyze. But of course, pressing, passing from the back remains his weakness, and he needs to improve. But of course, because he's still new, no preseason, so we can cut him some slack, and if he can improve on that, then I think he'll be a good goalkeeper for us. That is
Yes,
the
then.
area that he needs to improve.
Here's the thing with regards to the, about again him improving. I think he will, because more importantly, he's confident on the ball. He doesn't panic. Had it been the case that he panics and makes those mistakes, it's just that he's actually overly too confident on the ball. In my opinion, I think as the team becomes more rehearsed, like I think I and Bobby did discuss that at length the last time we talked about Sanchez's distribution and the errors he's made. That will improve, because the players they will all be on the same wavelength. Whenever he has the ball, they know where to be to make things to make it easier for him to pass out from the back. He will improve, in my opinion. I'm happy with the progress I've seen. But you go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, I almost completed. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and I also like analyzed and described. So of course, this is still like in my mind, like it's something that I've been bitten with. It's he did it on. We only remember the Arsenal game. It happened in the Burnley game, Brighton game, Aston Villa game, but we were not punished. So again, it's not a criticism. We are just analyzing, right? And we are analyzing in a constructive way to see if he is or he will be the goalkeeper moving forward. So it's too early to say. Again, when we talk about buying a goalkeeper, I think it's absurd. It's nonsense, because we just bought him. We just had Petrovic. So it's what, like less than 3-4 months we have these two goalkeepers. So how can we even contemplate going for another goalkeeper? So at least we have to see till the summer, right? And then make any move. And we have already analyzed with our goalkeeping specialists like Roger and stuff like that. But if we really go in the next summer with a goalkeeper, it has to be a significant upgrade. Not anyone who is of the same ability. And
I don't think we'll be going for a goalkeeper anytime soon.
Yeah, I also don't think so. I think it's a rumor unless like he doesn't do good, he makes many errors. And Petrovic also, when he gets the chance, he is not proved to be good enough. But according to the reports, Petrovic is really good with his feet. So that's interesting. So let's see what happens. Right now, it's good because the last two games again, Tottenham away, high intensity game. Manchester City, the most difficult game you can have playing against the best side in the world as of now. So these two games, Sanchez he did well. So that's a very positive sign. So we just have to see in the games moving forward.
All right.
And given that he's still new, he's still integrating, and again, passing from the back also depends on understanding who his teammates, the defense who is in front of him. And many times Pochettino is changing. Sometimes Koval is playing, not playing. Sometimes the left back as a central defender. So it makes a difference as well. When we have a more settled back four, which we have right now, I believe, in the last 3-4 games, we are getting a shape. So I think that would help as well to understand his teammates, to understand which player is playing at which position, right? It's like Cucurella is playing as a right back. So it won't help him. So if it's more of a consistent back four, then of course it will aid him to understand the movement.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to say quickly once more, I want to say thank you to Michi Boy for that donation there. Sincerely do appreciate that, brother. Much love to you. Thank you for always supporting the channel. If you haven't, go check out Michi Boy's YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe. And also do let him know I sent you. I think I stopped somewhere here but I'm going to scroll past quite a few. Yeah, I think we read that one. And Sharma also saying hello to Constantine Dante. Where was I? I think I was somewhere here. Okay, coach, you skipped my comment and I've apologized. It wasn't the money we transferred offshore were transfer businesses. Here's the thing. I think we can make that argument. Uh, yes, there are two things to look at in terms of Chelsea's cases. One, financial irregularities that were self-reported to the FA and UEFA, and UEFA will settle. On UEFA side, we're good. We've paid the fine and we've moved on. But the FA, they look beyond 3 years backwards. For lack of a better language, there money offshore, you can say they've termed it off the books payment, which is an issue. If they believe the payments were made so that we don't get to spend that much money and still look as if we're making a profit when we should be at a loss at the time. So yeah, then that's where the problem lies. It could go from off the books payment to corruption, bribery maybe. If we argue, okay, we're paying the agents to help us convince the players to join us, then it's bribery, in my opinion. We'll find out. But let's not talk about it. Hopefully, I think our case differs in so many ways. That's because we self-reported the issue. That's one, and two, and yeah, it happened on the previous ownership, not under the watch of the current owners. I think I expect to see a more lenient punishment, in my opinion. But let's move on from that. And this is saying that Chelsea legal team are aware of a potential punishment. They know the FA law books. Yep, they know it very well. That is why they're paid. Yep. So the club they should help the club to be proactive. If we're gonna face any sort of punishment that will get us, you can say, that will get us to not be you can say not face too many damages due to the whatever punishment we end up facing. And here's the thing: if which I don't think will happen, I don't think relegation will be the punishment. I don't see that happen. If it happens that these kids that we signed that are all on a 10-year, 7-year, 7-year, 8-year contract, if they don't have any clause saying if we get relegated, they're leaving, then I'd argue that the club knew before time that they have always known that there's a chance we'll face relegation due to, as a punishment, but I don't think that's the case. We'll find out. So for back four, for me, Thiago Silva certainly. It's been I'd say Thiago Silva here. I'd say Silva here, so to speak. Silva, yeah, this is C. Yep. The two center backs, this is Thiago Silva and this is C. Left back, Cucurella takes it for me, in my opinion. Yeah. I know Levi Colwell has played in the left back position, but I don't think he's been able to fulfill that role as effectively as Cucurella has done. Right back is James. I get it, he hasn't played that many times, but on occasions when he's played, I think you could argue he's been fulfilled that role better than Malo Gusto. That's not me saying Gusto is a bad player, but yeah, I think Reece James takes it. He's outplayed Gusto whenever he gets to play, and I don't blame Gusto. He's just 19, in my opinion, at most 20. So I say James here. Let's hear you. Yeah, I don't think if we're talking about the strongest 11, I don't think Colwell comes into here. Let's hear you, Jerry Z.
Yes, I think now we can see this is more of a settled back four. Reece James, as you said, the right back, he played the last last two league games, and the Carabao Cup game against Blackburn. So, of course, he is our number one. He is the captain. And, of course, he has played very well, as we have analyzed in the ratings when we did. He has already played very well. He has shown. And the improvement that we have seen has to do with Reece James' comeback as well. Although he's not fully fit yet, but we have analyzed, people go and look at the ratings we did and talked in detail about each player. So, Reece James, of course, the right back. Gusto, he has done well so far, but I think a lot of people think that he's a replacement, or he is already a replacement, or he's as good defensively. But of
Mhm.
course, I completely disagree. We are talking about Reece James, perhaps one of the best, if not the best, right back in the world, and especially as I have discussed, and as all of you probably agree. His involvement in the attack as well, which is instrumental in with Pochettino's the way he sets up the team. So there is no doubt about that. The only thing, a question mark or the concern is his injury. And if he stays fit, then he's definitely in most of the games, if not all, the starting of the first pick as the right back. And so I agree generally with the all back four, as I said before starting. Disasi was a question mark for me as we analyzed in the ratings video, because Pochettino backed him, played him all along. In the first 6 7 games, I think he was not good. He made many mistakes.
You could
Still,
argue he had a shaky start.
very shaky start. If we
And
see,
to his defense, just if you don't mind, please,
yes, sir,
apologies.
yes, sir.
If you don't mind, to his defense, he didn't have preseason with us. And had it not been for injuries we had at the time, I don't think he'd had the chance to start when he did, in my opinion. But you go ahead with
Yes,
what you were saying.
that is correct. If we analyze in the context that why he didn't have a good start, that is correct. But generally, speaking as a 12 games as a whole, and also including the 3 games we played in the cup, 15 games I believe. So most of them he played. I believe he played almost all of them, including I think one game. I don't remember, sorry, to be exact, but he was involved in most of the games. So yeah, first 6 7 games were not good, and as you rightly explained, because he was not involved in the preseason, and that is definitely a big thing, especially when the whole team is new. But in the last 3 4 games, he has played really well, and especially his physicality is important, which we lack generally as a whole, and he has improved a lot. Especially in the last 3 4 games, it was
Hmm.
kind of refreshing to see. Still, I still have a little bit reservation, to be honest, given where we are, or where we need to be if we want to be the top team in England, in Europe. But of course, because if we see the collective team, everyone is new, so we can see that. But
But you'd
uh,
have to agree, if we're going by what we've seen so far after week 12, he starts.
he does, and I agree with that. I'm just saying that right now I'm not like completely sold that he's the preferred
He's
11.
the answer.
Yeah, he's the answer. If he is like, he'll be an elite player. That's all I'm saying, and rightly so, because we don't know. Everyone is so new. Everyone is so new, and we have to see. We have to see, or we have to. I mean, they have to be more consistent over the period of the time for the fan base or the analysts to really believe in that, right? So a little bit shaky, as you said. And as an analyst, what I observed, the goals, all of the goals that, not all, I mean, if you take all of the goals, the most number of involvement or the errors, or where he made some error, or where he failed to close down, etc., xyz, he was involved in the most, in the most number of goals that we considered. So if we see that as an analyst, then it's not like a concern. But
Hmm.
but the thing is that we have to see that. We cannot ignore that. Thiago Silva, of course, I mean, he is the best defender for us this season as well. Apart from the Tottenham game, with all due respect, I think he that was a kind of a bad game for him. But in all other games, most of the other games, he was phenomenal. He was near perfect, I would say, as good as he played in the last 4 5 years at the highest level. He's still doing the same. Again, people are talking about the age, so why should we even consider that if he's playing well? But yes, at the same time, we have to be intelligent, and I'm sure the Pochettino and the management are, because he can play maybe this season, and if maybe next season, as Bobby was saying, if we qualify for the Champions League. But again, age will catch up sooner or later, right? In the sense, if we are in Europe next season and we have to play so many games at the highest level, then eventually he has to be replaced. That's a fact, right? But not now. A lot of people are saying that he should be replaced. Badiashile should start. Badiashile, of course, is young, is really good, but we have to see. I also believe on that. Seeing the life, seeing the world with many different experiences. I also don't consider age in the bracket, because at this age, I'm also involved in some projects which the 20-year-old are doing. So it has to be, if you are good enough, if you can do something, then why not? Then I don't take that into context. Right now, Silva is doing great against Man City. He was phenomenal, apart from the unfortunate goal that was considered with the deflection. So yes, of course, he is doing phenomenal, and I hope he continues this season. As far as Cucurella on the left back is concerned, it's interesting. Like again, with the start of the season, and on 31st August, when he was almost sold to Manchester United, and it's interesting to note, because I like the historical perspective and the storylines. I think it was a cup game on 31st August, and he was playing as well, right? And the Chelsea fans were booing him because they like thought that for sure he's leaving for United. So poor Cucurella was booed by the Chelsea fans just for that on that night. He has done well. Like the last few games, he has played very, very well. Again, like there are instances where he's like a little bit inconsistent, but that we can understand with the whole team as a whole, rather than an individual stuff. And as you rightly said in the previous podcast on a number of occasions, that Ben Chilwell, whenever he'll return, he'll be fit. It's a big question mark if he can get back in the team. So yeah, this is the back four. But Covell, I think, has an unbelievable potential. I see him as a future for Chelsea, and even now, I think he will be playing a lot of games. It will be interesting to see when and how he'll fit in now in our back four. If Cucurella is kind of guaranteed, if as a left back, then it's kind of difficult for Covell in the near future to be playing or to be starting the game. So it's a good thing, I would say, if we have competition.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But we're gonna come. For me, I'd rather Silva and Badiashile, but given what we've seen after week 12, most our strongest center back right now pairing will be Disasi and Thiago Silva. But let's see. That's only reason I say could be a transfer ban. It happened before. That may well be what we face, and this time probably for a longer period. They'll probably be doing it and saying they're not going to fill it. So probably will be for about 4 or 5 years. But we'll find out. Poch loves the Sassi so much he will start him over Petrovic in goal in cup games. In cup games, just to play him. I think.
Coach, sorry to interrupt. I have to take a call. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right, no problem. Here's the thing. I think this particular argument makes sense. And I've seen the interview where the Sassi talked about that Poch told him he's always he knew him even before he joined Monaco. Even I've forgotten the club he mentioned during that interview. But it's funny. I think he likes him. And the Sassi isn't that bad. But I'd say this. I'd start Badiashile over the Sassi. That's because Badiashile is the more intelligent of the two players. He's better on the ball. If anything, he's good aerially too. Has excellent passing range in the air, on the carpet. But if anything, the Sassi is more aggressive than Badiashile. And I know Badiashile, he has a place in this team. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. I think he'd be the one to take over from Thiago Silva. Probably he knows right now. Constantine Dante is saying it's crazy. He comes in 2 days after arrival. He start exactly. I actually forgot about that. That he didn't actually spend 2 days. It was 2 days after he arrived. He started against Liverpool, right? After arrival, he starts. Then gets injured. But straight back. It starts also not easing back in game fitness and started at right back seem undroppable. You can argue that, and that's a sign. Those collectively is a sign that the manager likes him. Yeah, he likes him, and given what I told you, I heard him say during an interview, he likes him. But I'd rather Badiashile than him, as much as I think he's good too. The Sassi is a good defender. He is, in my opinion, he is. But if I have to choose, I'll take Badiashile, and that's because, in my opinion, he's the more intelligent of the two players. So let's go. The 2 6s, no question there. It's easy actually. Fernandez. Let me just go with Fernandez. Enzo starts from after week 12. From what we're seeing, I think Enzo right now should be one of the 2 6s when we're talking about Chelsea's strongest 11, given what we're seeing after week 12. And Casado here, Casado and Enzo, we've seen how important he is to this team. The last match, he didn't play. We were awful. Yeah. Enzo is that sort of player. I know he hasn't scored goals and probably doesn't have. I think he has how many assists? If anything, he has. I don't know how many assists he has right now, if he has any. But he makes us tick. Yeah, he helps. He helps control the tempo of the game and all that. Helps us control games and all that. The moment he's not playing, that's when you recognize his importance. And we did have that conversation a week or two before we found out that the manager that he was ill. We were told he was ill and didn't play that particular game where we lost. Was it against Brentford that we lost? We couldn't play our game actually. We asked the question who was going to play his role because he has a very unique role in this team. We came to the conclusion at the time that probably Palmer. And but during the game proper, the manager didn't play Palmer there in a deeper role, the hybrid of 8 and 6. Like that's you could call that the Enzo Fernandez role, but for me, I think it's the hybrid of 8 and 6. Him starting here is just a starting point, because he has the independence to be wherever he deems fit on the pitch to help us control the game and all that. But on that particular day, the manager played Gallagher and Casado, and it didn't work. And I can't remember whether he changed it on time to fix the issue. We couldn't control the game. We were outplayed, in my opinion. So I think Enzo Fernandez and Moises Casado after week 12, the two of them, from me, if we're selecting our strongest 11 from what we've seen, it's the two of them as the 2 6s. Let's see. The C is a good defender, no question. Any letters on Nkunku? Rumors are that he wants to get into, you can say, be part of the. He wants to, you can say, he feels like he's ready. And the club are telling him, and Pochettino and his staff are telling him, no, he's not fully ready, and they're not in a rush to bring him back into the fold. That it will be a gradual process, and I think it should be a gradual process because we haven't missed him that much, especially how well we've played of late, in my opinion. But we don't know. Chances are, come our next game, he gets to start, but we don't know. But nice to see you, Mr. Basil. I mean, Basil, I hope you're doing well. Enzo Casado, easy. Yep, easy to spy. I think the strongest 11 right now, if we're going by what we've seen after week 12, it picks itself. Yeah, it does pick itself. I feel bad for Gusto because he did well in the absence of Reece James. But the truth remains in the 2 games that Reece James has played, Gusto doesn't come close to him. Cannot measure him offensively, defensively. The only thing is that he was able to play 90 minutes, while Reece James on occasions, I think, has he played 90 minutes since? Has he really actually? But he's proven that, he's a starter there. Offensively, defensively, and in leadership too from him. But that's just my opinion there. Let's see what else we have here. Tommy Bryan, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Enzo is the invisible magician. Yeah, I think I can't believe I'm giving you credit for a delicious comment right there. He's the sort of player that reminds me how you can say a player such as Conor Gallagher was for Nigeria at the time. You don't know his importance until he's not on the pitch, even though he will come across to you as a lazy player because he doesn't run that much and all that. Enzo, you don't know how important he is to this team until you don't have him. Yeah, until he's not playing. Enzo is the invisible magician. I think you could say that when he's not there, it's glaringly obvious. Yep, for those that understand football, For me, I think one of the reasons why we lost that game before was it before the Man City game, or I can't quite recall when we played that game, was because he didn't play, mainly because he didn't play, in my opinion. But let's see what else we have here. Next one, the fact that the Sassi have never had a bad game is mental. And see, here's one thing I like. Before he joined us, he hardly gets injured. Never been out due to injury, except when he contracted COVID. But he joined us now. I think we've heard that at one point he had an injury, but it's a Chelsea thing anyway. I think he stays fit. That's very important, and he's an excellent player. I get it. People will start, you can say, looking at games and say he had a bad game during, you can say, a matchup against a particular team or the other. The fact is, yeah, he was a bit rusty at the time, and as you can say, he's gotten better by each game. In my opinion, he gets better by each game, and I like that. But that's by the way. We'll move on. Yep, 2 6s. Yeah, I think that's how I play. I think that's our strongest 2 6s, given what we've seen after week 12. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. We have 40 likes, and I think we should be doing better than that. And for those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. You watching does go a long way. But if you don't mind doing us one favor, one tiny video favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us, the likes to go a long way. Would really appreciate that. Let's hear you. The 2 6s after week 12. Jerry Z, let's hear you.
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious. It's Enzo and Caicedo, although they both need to improve. Enzo, as we discussed in the last 2-3 games, was not up to the mark. But again, I think he's not fully fit. And as you beautifully said, I was also considering that if Gallagher plays with either Caicedo or Enzo, but it didn't work so well in the past when he was playing with Caicedo. And only recently in the last 3-4 games when Gallagher is playing up front. So it's better, so we can see that. And again, like Caicedo and Enzo will only improve from here. They are still like, especially Caicedo is new to our team. Enzo, again, it's really like he's played a lot. He should be rested in few games or should be subbed. Again, like, as good as these players are, I still need to see more from them, right? Caicedo is playing well. He's improving, but again, like he's a little bit inconsistent to my liking, consistent to the price tag, to what he has done with Brighton. Enzo Fernandez, he's playing very well as a whole, but we need to see more from them. It's not a concern, it's a good criticism that how good they are, right? So we are only seeing, let's say, half of their potential, or at most like near 3-4, not even that. So there is a lot that they can offer. So it will only get better. So that's a great sign in my opinion.
And I'm going to say this, okay, it looks like I'm going to be playing the player's lawyer today. To his defense also, he didn't have preseason with us, right? And a prolonged transfer saga that took time back and forth. Even at one point we thought, that's it, we're not going to get him, that he'd be joining Liverpool, and we end up getting him. There are circumstances when you look at them objectively, you'd say, yeah, I wouldn't blame him that much that we haven't seen his best. But believe me, I think I'm surprised at how quickly actually he's coming into his own. He's done well. Caicedo and Enzo both have actually done well, but there are circumstances such as the fact that we have an entirely new squad. It's a factor too, because everything you do sometimes, when you try to do something, your teammate not being on the same wavelength with you becomes an issue. I think we get to see the best of him when the team is well properly rehearsed, and believe me, we're actually ahead of time. I think he's done relatively well. I get it; he can do much better. Maybe how he's doing, how he's you could say applying himself, how he applies himself on the pitch right now comes down to the manager's demands. Because I've always I'm a big believer in the fact in the, you could say, argument that how well a player does under a manager comes down to that manager's demands. And that's because you can argue that's the reason why you see a certain player play badly under one manager and then be the world's best under another manager. And Antonio Rudiger being a prime example, who nearly left the club under Frank Lampard, but stayed and became one of our best defenders under Thomas Tuchel, and was pivotal to everything Thomas Tuchel won. So my argument is chances are the manager is trying to get him to play differently than he played as Brighton. And you could argue that's actually the case. He's always been the one since he joined us, since he's played for us, all the games he's played for us. You can see his application on the pitch shows that he's been charged to be more disciplined than his pairing in the 2-6 position. Him being charged more with the task of protecting the defensive line, in my opinion. But I get your argument. Yeah, we need to see more. But I think we'll see more, but it probably will take time. For me, I'm not too concerned about him. The fact that, okay, I think I've read that one too, and that's from Kevin. We don't have currently any technical player like Enzo in midfield. We don't. And I think the remedy in his absence would be to play Palmer in a deeper role because he has that vision. I think Conor Gallagher have seen the vision. To be specific, the sort of vision I'm talking about, the intelligence to read the game and realize things are too tight here. That's one part of it. And two, the technical ability to beat the tight space, because when things are too tight in a particular section or area on the pitch, you probably, if you're on the ball, you need to have the ability to beat that tight space and move the ball to another area. I've seen Chukwuemeka do that to a great effect. He did that very well against Liverpool. I've seen, I think Cole Palmer, he has that intelligence also to read the game and realize, okay, now we have to switch from here to another area on the pitch. He does that so well. So I think those two can actually fulfill that role. But Enzo is a master at it. That's because he's played there predominantly. You could argue, I think Palmer can actually fulfill that hybrid of 8 and 6 role. That's because for England, in the under-21s, he plays there. Yep, in a 4-3-3 structure, he plays as a right midfield, in the right midfield position. So I think Palmer is capable of fulfilling the role. I think Conor Chukwuemeka is also fulfilling the role, and that's down to what I've explained to you. They both have the intelligence to read the game and realize, okay, now is the time to switch the ball. They're not the sort of players hell-bent on keeping the ball in that particular position and then end up losing it. I think that makes sense. Let's see. We don't have currently any technical players like Enzo in our midfield. That's why it's so important. You saw what happened when we put Gallagher there to run the show. I've always said I don't want to see Gallagher in the central area, in my opinion. I'd rather in a 10 position or in the right wing position on the flanks where he has space. Hopefully Romeo is better at that. We will see. I don't know whether Romeo is a sort of player that can help us control the tempo and dictate the pace of the game. But one thing I know about Romeo Lavia, I see Romeo Lavia being the one playing centrally, even in a midfield 3, or even if playing with 2-6s. I see the manager playing him as a more disciplined of the 2-6s, and that's because we play out from the back. And in terms of beating the press, we don't have anybody in the team now that comes closer to Romeo Lavia in terms of beating the press. Yep, when you have 2-3 players on him, he's capable of finding a good solution, beat the press, and then find his teammates with a good pass. So, but we'll find it. Let's see what the manager does. We're packed in that area. Let's see what the manager does. Hopefully, Romeo is better at that. We'll see. We'll find out. What do we do with Lavia? A lot. And if you've been paying attention, I'm sure you heard my argument that. I think it's a fact, actually. There's nobody at the club right now that will, I believe, will be at some point get to play as you can say as a lone 6, or maybe as one of the 2-6s, but the more disciplined of the 2-6s, or the one charged with the task of protecting the defensive line. I think Romeo Lavia will be better at fulfilling that role for us, and that's because He's excellent at beating the press, better at it than Enzo Fernandez, and better at it than Moses Caicedo, in my opinion. Yeah, what I think a lot. We have a lot to do with him. He's an excellent player, and he's still 19. He has a place in this team. Remember, I told you that. So let's go. I've been watching the Ecuador games. Casado has been solid. He's an excellent player. You can't take that away from him. I think we're blessed in the midfield area. Remember, we still have Cesare Casade out on loan. We still have Santos. We still have Leslie Ugochukwu, who's traditionally a DM. You can say the only traditional DM we have right now. Others are either 8, but has the attributes of a 6, of a traditional 6, and the manager prefers playing them there. Ugochukwu, for me, is yeah, the only traditional 6 we have right now. But that's, by the way, his thing. Some people are not going to like this, but from what we've seen so far, you can say our strongest, in my opinion, our strongest lineup after week 12. I think Gallagher, I think the place for him is essentially there, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Cole Palmer just seems as if he's much better. But this is fluid anyway. Gallagher starting centrally doesn't mean his station there. I think on occasions you'd see Palmer, who starts on the flanks, come in and be in the central area and in the central area while Gallagher drifts to the right. It's a fluid approach, has always been. So let's go Palmer there. And unfortunately, yeah, after week 12, you could say in our strongest 11, as much as I've always questions at Raheem Sterling's lack of, like you said, lack of consistency, and I think he's proven actually to be one of our best players so far this season. So Sterling here after week 12 makes Chelsea's strongest 11. Let's say you, Jerizi, what do you think?
Yes, again, we don't have too many options, and it says when people are saying that we are making, or the analyst or the people who are supporting the team are making the excuse of injuries all the time, that why we are 10th, why we should back the team, why we should trust the manager, why he's doing well, because we have 7 to 8 now, and before that always 10, 11 injuries all the time. So it shows because of so many injuries, we don't have even option. Right? Although these players, you said, for a reason we are putting them in the preferred 11, but we don't even have the options. How many options we have? If you see the back four, the only options were Covell or Gusto, right, on the right back. So we don't have ample of options. For the pivot, we don't have even one option, I would say, right? And for Enzo and Caicedo role, Lavia is unfair. Gallagher is playing up front, and in this 3 option, we only have an option of Modric. I'm just saying, an option. Of course, Noni is not here. The game he played against Brentford, he still needs to improve. So it's not even like a conversation to think that Noni could play against Palmer or for Gallagher. As much as, of course, there are 2 sides, and I'm getting more like under your training. You can say I'm always like that, but I'm understanding why people don't rate him, and I understand that. But the question is, how many options we have right now? If Gallagher doesn't start, who will start against him? Let's put it this way. Let's say we all know he's not technically very good, even myself. All I said, as I said, I don't want to go and repeat, he has improved. And because of this conversation, he kind of become one of my favorite. It's not that he's my favorite. I like him for his work rate. I like people who work so hard. That's all. And he has improved. And of course, I understand it will be difficult for even Gallagher. As much, coach, you think he will stay or always be in the starting 11? I think it will be difficult for Gallagher once
until it changes. Right now, his thing. Right now, given the manager's pattern with regards to how he selects a player.
Right. I agree. I'm just saying, when analyzing that, as I was giving all these reasons, as you can see, that why we have these players, because of the injuries, and the players that are available are nowhere near as good as the players that we have on this starting 11 in the various positions. And maybe an exception one can argue for some player. So for Gallagher, I was just noticing, because Nkunku will be back, right? in the Castle game or after that, or 2 3 weeks, 4 weeks, he will be fit enough to play 90 minutes. So if we really analyze, as much as let's say we support Gallagher, right? But Gallagher is I'm not playing devil's advocate, I'm just being very rational. But if we have to put Nkunku here, the only player first in my mind that comes out is Gallagher now. You see the point? That's interesting.
Mhm.
I don't see Enzo or Caicedo because that's not the position where Nkunku will play. Palmer, of course, he will play. He definitely has a place. So the only two options right now is either Gallagher or if Nkunku plays instead of Jackson. But that's a different dynamic that you are using him as a striker. So that's interesting. It's a good thing, I would say. But I don't know like how Gallagher will still play with if Nkunku, because Nkunku is a superstar. We all know that.
We will find out. Here's the thing: we will find out.
Definitely. No,
Yeah.
I'm just pitching something that we will discuss soon for the future. So right now, the first player that comes out of this starting 11 is Conor Gallagher when Nkunku will be back. And for Sterling, as you said, so yeah, of course, I agree. These three are the preferred 11 with the 12 games we had, but not at all. I'm sold at Sterling. As much as he had a great game, one of the best games in Chelsea's shirt against Manchester City, I have huge question mark on his consistency. We say he is being one of our best players. Okay, as an analyst, let me tell you why. Because we are 10th. With all due respect, we are 10th, we have 16 points. So in this level of performance, he is our best player.
Yeah,
so
in other words, the bar is low.
Bar is low. He has played 4 good games out of 12. Or 5 at most, including the cup games, 14. So every 1 out of 3 games he's playing good. Is this the profile of a Premier League winning or even a team that challenges for the title? No. So using my mind, learning from different analysts, especially Roger, like he always has a great point about him. It's not that he's against him; he's a very rational point that he's not consistent. And as much as discuss it, I started noticing more and more. So he has the attributes, he has the qualities. We know that there's no question about that. But his consistency is a huge question mark. I will again monitor him in the Newcastle game and in December. So I don't know. Personally, I would love Modric to take his place, but we see Modric is raw. He is not consistent at all as of yet. So right now, I totally agree with you. Unfortunately, with the injuries we have, with the options we have, we don't have anyone else right now. So yeah, so I concur with this lineup.
All right, thank you so much. I've been watching the Ecuador games. I think I've read that one too. And the Pies has been excellent too. I'm not sure whether he played their last game, Kendra Pies. Constantine then say, I know there are 100 million players, but depends how you look at it. A spread out like that, not really 100 million player. Traditionally, if you know what I mean, yep, the amortization is that the term used for it. I don't think we paid that much money for, again, how much people are mentioning we paid for play. We didn't actually. That also applies to Romeo over 8 years, not really a 58 million pounds player. I think I agree with you. Let's see. I wish Sterling was in a 1 3. Yeah, 1 in 3. Yeah, I think hopefully I think it's bit different. Excuse me. Let's see how well he does in the next game. That would tell us a lot, in my opinion. And for number 9, Nicholas Jackson, after week 12, no competition really. It's him. Let's just go. Well, Jackson there. I get it. He's missed some sitters. Some goals there. Unbelievably, you can argue easy to put away. He's missed some of those chances, but more importantly, you can say he's making decisive runs, always at the right place at the right time. Do I think he needs to improve? Yeah, in so many ways. But he's done well. And in terms of the number 9 position, he has no competition right now. I think after week 12, I don't think anybody will argue and say, yeah, this is not Chelsea's strongest 11 from what we've seen after week 12. I think this is the correct selection here. Who else can come on for who? Mudryk, I'd say no. So I think Sterling has done better than him. I get it. Sterling probably has gotten the opportunity to play more than Mudryk did. But if we're being objective, I think this is the strongest 11 after week 12. Yeah, what's his name? He's played games here and there, mainly in the left back position or maybe left center back position in the hybrid approach where he gets to play in the left center back position. I think if we're going with the back four, yeah, I think this is Chelsea's strongest 11 after week 12. Let's see what else we have here. They're saying, but he did have 2 good games in a row against 9-man Tottenham, but on City, he was at on a different level. He was an animal on the day. Some performance the sort of performance I haven't seen him show on the Chelsea shirt.
So,
Honestly,
coach, would you agree that that was his best game in Chelsea's shirt so far?
who?
Sterling's best game
Yeah.
in Chelsea's shirt?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, nothing, no other performance comes close to that. None. He was on another level on that day, doing nutmegs and stuff and all of that. He was excellent, really. You could argue he led by his
the way he challenged or he was taking
Go ahead.
So sorry, just got excited. The way he was taking on Kyle Walker, that was great to watch.
He mopped
That
the
was
floor
great.
with him. You could say he disgraced Walker, but go ahead.
I'm just saying when he can play so well, right? So it's frustrating, right? Why he can do that against the best, one of the best best right backs. He was doing so well, right? So if he can take on Kyle Walker, not just one times, many times in the game, he does have all the qualities, right? So it's clear that he has the qualities. So only the consistency is a thing. And if he can be consistent, it will be amazing for us.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Just consistency is all we ask of him. He's never been consistent. But on that day against City, he led by example. Wow. I've never seen anybody do that to Walker. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. It was as if Raheem Sterling probably remembered how he used to mop the floor with him at City when he was still a City player, and went into that game with the confidence that, yeah, he can replicate that on the pitch, and that then he did. He was brilliant. Kudos to him. So for me, I think that's it. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else in the chat has anything else to add to that. Otherwise, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other items to address before we call it a day. Yeah, I think we did. It just makes sense. I think the strongest 11 after week 12 picks itself, because these are the players that have been starting mainly. James did well, yeah, in the last 2 games, especially. This I see is improved. Silva, yeah, always hardly puts a foot wrong. Cucurella, a revelation, you could say, this season. Sanchez, yeah, he's improved and still improving game after game. Casado, he's done well. I know we need more. You did say we need more from him. I think I agree. Fernandez, he's done well too. Gallagher, he's done well. Starling, done well. Palmer, done well. Jackson, he's also done well.
The only thing I would want, because he just came back from the injury, played a cup game against Blackburn. I'm talking about Badiashile. So personally, I would want him to be a part of the starting 11 because he is one of the best players.
I think he will with time. But if we're going by how many games that people have played, and I think right now this
absolutely.
This is correctly our strongest 11 after.
That is correct. That's what I'm saying, because he only played a game against Blackburn, so we cannot have him in the equation. But maybe because now he's available, maybe that could change soon.
Yeah, you never know. And we have Constantine Dante saying, if the space of Stalin can be effective, it's just his decision making that's usually horrible. Yeah, I still remember the game against Tottenham before what's his name? Before Udogie got carded. I was saying, pass the ball, because he had 2 players, one on the left side, one to his left, one to his right, and play them in on time. Just play them in, and he delayed it. I wasn't sure what the delay was, because there was the players had space to run into, and you could say the Tottenham defense at the time, could have been, you could say, helpless had he passed the ball early. But still, I get it. It led to Udogie being sent up. But still, to me, I think that was a poor decision making from him, in my opinion. Okay, let's read this. Let's address this. And this is saying, if there is a space, Sterling can be effective It's just his decision making that usually are horrible. Yeah, his decision making can be poor at times, and given how experienced he is, sometimes when he does that, you start questioning what's wrong with him. And Chelsea, all the way, I haven't seen you in 1,000 years, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join this morning, and I'm gonna say, hey, this from the bottom of my heart. I hope your absence means that you've been busy and not that anything has happened to you. Hopefully the case is that you've been busy. But nice to see you, brother. And our boy Kukurea is doing well. And hello, everyone here. Andrew Kalebu, nice to see you, Mr. Andrew Kalebu. I appreciate you finding the time to join us here. And Andrew, I think that's the first time I'm seeing you here. And if that's the case, please do us a favor. Do take a second, drop a like on the stream for us. You're welcome. Feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. I appreciate you joining us here, Mr. Andrew. Let's see. Hey, Jerry. Nice to see you, brother. Jerry and the chat. Big up to you too. Lateness is greatness. We appreciate you joining. Yeah, all is well. Thank you for answering tonight. But I would like to find out Starling's IQ. Why are you getting me to read such things? I want to go to heaven, man. Please don't do this to me. Please. 48 likes, 2 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Is Nkunku back? We're reading some reports. I've seen some reports saying he feels like he's ready, and the manager and his staff are telling him we're not going to be in a. We're not in a rush. Take all the time you need.
Let's put it this way, that he'll be part of a squad.
Yeah. Chances are he'd be on the bench against Newcastle, but we'll find out. But I don't think he's trained that long with his teammates, so I don't see him starting the next game. There's a chance he'd be on the bench, but I'll be shocked if he's on the bench, actually. I will skip today's discussion because I honestly do not believe in best 11. The best 11 changes. And did you even read the title? I don't think you did. After week 12, who would think is the best 11 on form? And it depends on opposition and tactics. I would say players. I don't think you're following this discussion. So I think you're better off skipping, because if you're saying this, you don't know what we're talking about. Kachila trying to string together best 11 is a fun exercise. I just want to raid your stream with jokes only today. Just go. Just go away. Like I said, you really have not been paying attention, because we're saying the best 11 after week 12. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Even with the ban pending, we don't need more players. I don't think we need more players indeed. Maybe a traditional 10. Do we have a traditional 10 right now? I would say no. Players were playing in the 10th position, just like they have the attributes to fulfill that role. That is when Palmer played there, or maybe Connie Chukwuemeka. But I don't know. I still think we'll make signings in January, but not too many. Maybe 1 or 2. I'm not too sure. We'll find out when that time comes. Modric is simple. It's simple and astonishing at the same time. I saw that he does not do flashy things, but he is 100% always takes on correct decisions and never makes a mistake. Are you talking about Mudryk? I'm guessing you're talking about Mudryk there, bro. Peace and blessings, Meta Face Doom. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We have 48 likes. Let's try and get it to 50 at least, because we'll be rounding off soon. Thank you for joining Meta for Zoom. I hope you're doing well. Ivan Toney, no more Victor Osimhen, only the option. We'll find out, and chances are we're not going to even sign a striker anytime soon. Waiting for Nkunku's return. Lamine, I think that will happen soon. How soon? I don't know. Yeah, I can't complain, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah. For asking. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you have not been here for a while. I hope the case is that you've been busy. If we are getting a ban, then that's why what we need to do. If we're getting a ban, then we may well sign more players in January. In 11, I think Cowell is better than Disasi. But has he played centrally on how many occasions since from week 1 to week 12? He hasn't played centrally. He's played mainly either you could call it left center back or left back. For me, I think this is the strongest 11 after week 12, in my opinion. So we have these items here. Let's address these items here. And thank you to Eddie Love for Blue for sharing these with us. Let's go through them. This is saying, according to Bobby Vincent, let me follow him. I'm not following him actually. It says, I understand that Chelsea are strongly considering making a big money offer to Brentford's striker Ivan Toney in the January transfer window. 27-year-old wanted to leave Brentford, and Blues are long-term admirers. I'm not sure what to make of this. I'm not sure how serious they are interested on in signing opposite of Ivan Toney is. I'm not too sure. I'm still going to say this. I don't think we'll sign as a striker in January, especially one that will cost us a premium. And I think Ivan Toney will cost us a premium, even though he's 27. Here's the thing. Everything comes down to how well we're doing at the time. How we have Broya, we have Nkunku, who said openly that he sees himself as a number 9. We still have Nicholas Jackson, but we'll find out. The next item here is saying Marco Correa's reporting Marco Correa's comment here. Marco Correa on Moses Caicedo on Robert Sanchez. He's saying he's happy that they joined Chelsea. He told them it's an important club. They would feel very good here. That I am happy here, and that we would have a Spanish mafia. What a way to put it. Okay, I like it though. But even though Cucurella wasn't playing that much at the time, he was still looking out for the club, still helping the club convince players to join us. But I'm glad. He's showing what he's made of. He's an excellent player. And I'm still going to say this. I'll take him over Ben Chilwell anytime, any day. I get it. Ben Chilwell carries goal threat. But in terms of progressing the ball, I think I'll take Cucurella. And chances are it improves so much, but probably we'll still see. I think he makes good runs. Very soon, maybe he start getting goals. It's very good to watch if you understand how efficient he is. Just runs the game like Emma Roberts, not even a single error or a dribble, touch, etc. Good point there. Let's move on to the next item. Enjoy your conversations. I'm not going to read your conversations again. The next item we have here is Chelsea Dodgers reporting, quoting Bobby Vincent, saying Chelsea still view Nicholas Jackson as someone with a hugely bright future at the club. But in the early exchanges of the season, there has been too much reliance on him to score goals, too much, you can say, unnecessary pressure. And 7 goals in his first of 14 matches is a seriously impressive return, despite there's been plenty of criticism of the striker in the last couple of months. Some people will say he didn't deserve that hat-trick he scored against Tottenham. Does it matter? It doesn't. At least he scored a hat-trick and we won. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. 99.999% should apologize to Cucurella. Do you think they will? No. Some are actually saying he's still not good enough. But I've always known, and I think you've always, you've always defended him, saying, knowing that he's a good player. But I'm not too concerned about that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Next item, we have 51 likes. It's greatness for those of you that joined late. We'll be rounding up soon. Marco Correa on Mauricio Pochettino. He's saying Pochettino is a good manager. We know we are a good team, and one of the important things is to have the team healthy because we run a lot and press a lot. Now it's about playing and getting confidence. The coaching staff like to be close with the players and speak with us. I think that is good for me, for the team. We need to feel the confidence, and I think he and his staff they help a lot. We are in good way. We are in a good way, and need to continue. There are a lot of games to finish to finish the season. And if we continue in this way, we can do get good things this season. Nothing new there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. And thank you for 51 likes. We'll be rounding up soon. JC joined very late. Lateness is greatness. No, bro. Kukurea has played better, sure. But this does not mean that it stops here. He needs to continue like this and also improve further. He has reached close to Chilwell level. He hasn't or has, I'm not sure. But here's the thing, even at the time where people were complaining that he was too clumsy or was making a lot of mistakes at the time, I still pick him over Ben Chilwell because I knew again how good he was even before we signed him. Yeah, and I knew he wasn't the reason why we were struggling, but he joined us at the time where we were performing so poor. We were so poor at the time that people, you could say, finger pointing, or you could say scapegoating was our thing at the time, and he was the easiest for people to, you could say, call out at the time, in my opinion. But you're entitled to your opinion. I think for me, in terms of progressing the ball, he's better than Ben Chilwell. And that's because he has a way of finding passing lanes where you don't know one exists. Even if you have 2-3 players on him, they still find a way to progress the ball. But Ben Chilwell, once he has a single player on him, he opts for several options, either passing the ball backwards or sideways. I get it. He carries goal threat. And I think Kukurea, if he continues to play, that will come because he makes excellent runs and can only improve. But Kuku and Chilwell have different profiles. Yeah, exactly. And I think I've explained that a bit. And not both are at high level. Good for the team. Yeah, let's see what happens. I don't think we need a 10. We have about 3 players who can fulfill that role. You used to time fulfill, and that's because you can say none of the players will have. You can say it's traditionally a 10. You tell me. I know Emeka can fulfill that role because of his attributes, but he's more of an 8 than a 10 for me. Nkunku, actually, I don't want to see him in the 10 role. The last time he played there, he looked lost. And Palmer can fulfill that role, but we're using the time to fulfill, but we're not saying he's the 10, if you get my point. But do I think we're signing 10? Most likely not, and that's because we heard during last transfer window that the manager is looking for players who are capable of playing all across the attacking line. That's because we use a liquid or maybe a fluid approach. Palmer, no point wasting money as long as it's fulfilled. Yeah, I like the language you're using. Yeah, I understand what you meant there. We need a left back that's good both ways. Currently, we have one good defensive and another offensive. Yeah, one better offensive, one better defensively. But I think Kukurea, we can still get him to be good offensively because he makes intelligent runs, in my opinion. Coach, I think Kukurea has improved defensively, but the passing range and going forward, Chilwell is a bit ahead of him. Okay, we'll get to that. Maybe I'll do a comparison video for both, a YouTube shot to be precise. Yep, the last item before we call it a day. This one here is saying Christopher Nkunku is edging ever closer to making his debut for Chelsea. Oh, yeah. He hasn't actually played an official game. You can say he hasn't actually made his Chelsea debut. He's only played for us in the preseason, same as Romeo Lavia. So this is saying Christopher Nkunku is edging ever closer to making his Chelsea debut. But Standard Sports understand the forward will not be risked if Mauricio Pochettino or the player believes he is not ready for his first competitive minutes. That's the language I should have used when we had that back and forth conversation. That conversation with regards to his fitness at Constantine. Nkunku, though, remains in line to play against Newcastle after the international break. Yeah, chances are he gets to play against Newcastle. But that's by the way. Let's see what else we have here. I agree with the panelists that Gallagher may be dropped once Nkunku starts. Okay, let's see that happen. Maybe Jersey said something to that effect. I didn't say that. I don't think Nkunku is the one to change. But we'll find out. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. But in a few, you can say very soon we'll find. We'll find out in due time. Whatever the manager does would tell us whether it's over for Gallagher or so. Kuku will never be great offensively. Coach, his technique is kaka. Heston, I think technically, I think he's good. There's more to his game, and believe me, I think we're seeing that. And if you watch the Man City game again, you can see there's more to his game. Maybe the way he's applied himself on the pitch in the past comes down to how the managers he's played on that wants him to apply himself. I think there's more to his game, and I'm still saying that. But that's, by the way, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll call it a day in a bit. Jerry, see anything else you want to say before we call it a day?
No, we have covered the starting lineup as related to the games that we have seen so far in the news. So nothing much to add. And as far as Nkunku is concerned, I've already given my point of view. It's only natural to like slowly integrate him, especially given so many injuries that we have. Definitely, he should be fit. That's why he's being considered. Only the medical staff and the coach knows that. So I don't see him like starting against Newcastle, but probably against Brighton and the following games, Manchester United, he will probably be more involved. It probably will take him at least 2 to 3 games before he can play the 90 minutes. So I'm sure that they will be looking after him. So I'm not at all worried about that, because we can see from Reece James that he has not played the entire game. Like, he has played 3 games and he's subbed. In one of the games, he was subbed around 77 minutes, and the rest of the games around an hour. So, and he's like even more injury prone. So if Pochettino is taking care of that, so we have an example, right? So he's very careful with Reece James. So I'm sure Nkunku will be taking good care of. They will assess very professionally. So I know that people are there. The medical staff is there, and Pochettino is very clever. Especially he's really good at like looking after the players and managing them. So this is not my worry. And of course, it will take some time for him to play the 90 minutes.
Yep, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. Let's see what else we have here before we call it a day. Just saying, to be honest, I want Gallagher to start and create a havoc. Everything we play, every time we play against a top 6 team, which decides to build from behind and attack us, Gallagher smashes any other an opponents or our team. You recognize what he brings to the table. Gallagher hasn't extended his contract yet, and that could end up becoming an issue because he knows there will be a real competition when Lavia returns. I don't know. That may well be the issue, but I think if he refuses to put pen to paper at the club, may well not have any other option than to sell him in January. Against Newcastle, Gallagher will start. I'm not going to bet on. I think you could say, even if I bet, I'm not going to lose, but I'm not betting again. Yes, I also think so. Dante Nkunku will be phased in gradually. Even if he starts, he's not going to play 90 minutes. Given how we are seeing a frequent injuries to players, I think Chelsea will manage minutes for our key players. Thus, I see Gallagher playing good minutes regardless of Nkunku's return. I think you just went into detail one of the reasons why he'd continue to play. But I think the manager trusts him more importantly. But despite it, with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. I want to say thank you to Jerry Z for finding the time to join me on the panel this morning. It's been an excellent show. So much energy from me, probably because we haven't streamed for a while and I'm not exhausted. So much energy to use on the show. And it's saying more because it's Newcastle United. Possibly. So I want to say thank you to Constantine Dante. Much love to you. I want to say thank you to Tommy Bryan, and thank you to Jay-Z, and thank you to Jerry Z, who's also on the panel with me, Jay-Z. Let me say it again. Much love to you, and thank you to Chelsea all the way. I haven't seen you in a while, brother, and I hope things are okay with you. JC, nice to see you once more. Anybody else in the chat, and Chelsea all the way, I've said hello to you. And Andrew Kalebo, nice to see you. And Metafest Doom, nice to see you. Andy Nguyen, nice to see you. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'll see you guys next time. God bless us all and bye.